Most people are afraid of being truly alone, because silence forces a person to face their real mind. No performance, no escape, only their thoughts. And for most people, that becomes uncomfortable very quickly, because the average person does not think deeply about themselves. They do not question their beliefs. They do not examine their emotions. They do not challenge the stories they tell themselves about reality. They simply react. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this clearly. He understood that most human beings are controlled by emotions they barely understand. Pride blinds them, fear weakens them, desire manipulates them. And because people rarely examine themselves honestly, they become predictable. That is why truly intelligent people often seem different when nobody is watching. Rare minds use solitude differently. Instead of escaping discomfort, they sit with it. Instead of searching for comforting answers, they question everything. Instead of blindly trusting emotions, they analyze them. They can sit inside uncertainty without panicking. They can challenge their own thinking without feeling destroyed by it. They can observe reality even when reality hurts their ego. And that creates a dangerous kind of intelligence. Because dangerous intelligence is not loud. It does not constantly seek validation. It does not need attention from the room. It does not reveal everything it knows. It watches. It studies. It understands. The more a person studies themselves, the more they begin understanding other people. They notice patterns in behavior, emotional weaknesses, manipulation hidden behind words, fear hidden behind confidence. And once someone understands human nature deeply enough, they stop becoming easy to control. That is why the calmest person in the room is often the most dangerous one, because they are aware. Most people spend their lives avoiding self-awareness. Rare, intelligent people sharpen it in silence. And if you secretly do these 6 things alone, your mind already works differently than most people around you. Before we begin, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My mind stays sharp. Let's get into it. Number 1, challenging your own beliefs. Most people do not search for truth. They search for opinions that protect their ego. That is why changing someone's mind is almost impossible once emotions become attached to a belief. The moment a person feels psychologically connected to an idea, they stop examining it honestly. They defend it automatically. Even when facts begin exposing weaknesses in their thinking, pride takes control. And this is one of the biggest differences between average intelligence and dangerous intelligence. Average minds protect beliefs. Intelligent minds test them. A highly self-aware person can sit alone and ask themselves a question most people secretly fear. What if I'm completely wrong? That question sounds simple, but psychologically it is extremely difficult. Because questioning your own perspective feels like attacking your identity. It creates uncertainty. It damages confidence. It forces the mind into uncomfortable territory where easy answers no longer exist. Most people avoid that feeling immediately. They would rather stay emotionally comfortable than mentally accurate. But rare, intelligent individuals willingly enter that discomfort because they understand something important. A false belief can quietly destroy your entire life. A person with the wrong understanding of people will trust dangerous individuals. A person with the wrong understanding of themselves will repeat the same mistakes forever. A person addicted to comforting illusions becomes easy to manipulate. That is why intelligent people mentally challenge themselves in private, not to appear intellectual, but to sharpen the way they think. They replay conversations and ask themselves difficult questions. Did I misunderstand that situation? Was my reaction emotional instead of logical? Am I defending this belief because it is true or because it protects my pride? Did I ignore reality because the truth was uncomfortable? Most people never think this way. The average person automatically assumes their perspective is correct. And once ego enters the mind, self-deception becomes easy. People begin twisting reality to protect how they feel instead of accepting what is true. Niccolò Machiavelli understood how dangerous this weakness was. He understood that people often destroy themselves because emotion blinds their judgment. Pride makes them stubborn. Desire clouds their thinking. Fear distorts reality. Instead of seeing situations clearly, they see what they emotionally want to see. And the moment emotions control perception, manipulation becomes easier. Because manipulators understand something most people do not. Human beings desperately protect their illusions. Tell someone a comforting lie, and they may trust you immediately. Tell them a painful truth, and they may hate you for it. That is how ego controls people. But individuals who constantly question themselves become far more difficult to deceive. They are not emotionally attached to appearing correct all the time. They care more about accuracy than pride. The moment new evidence appears, they adjust their thinking instead of emotionally resisting reality. That kind of mental flexibility is rare. Most people would rather argue endlessly than quietly admit they were wrong. Why? Because many people treat being wrong like humiliation instead of growth. But intelligent individuals understand that correcting yourself is a form of power. Every time you destroy a false belief, your thinking becomes sharper. Every time you confront an uncomfortable truth, your awareness expands. Every time you challenge your own assumptions, you reduce the control ego has over your mind. That process is painful, but it creates clarity. And clarity changes the way a person sees the world. You begin noticing manipulation faster. You become less emotionally reactive. You stop blindly trusting appearances. You stop confusing confidence with intelligence. Most importantly, you stop lying to yourself. That is where dangerous intelligence truly begins, because self-awareness is psychologically threatening to the average person. Most individuals spend their lives protecting an image of themselves they do not want questioned. They avoid difficult truths because difficult truths force change. But rare intelligent people understand something powerful. Truth does not care about comfort. Reality does not change because emotions dislike it. And the person willing to face reality honestly gains an advantage over people trapped inside emotional illusion. That is why the ability to challenge your own beliefs is one of the rarest forms of intelligence in the world. It requires humility, emotional control, psychological discipline, and the courage to destroy comforting lies inside your own mind. Most people never reach that level because protecting the ego feels safer than questioning it. But the moment a person becomes willing to mentally destroy their own comfort, their intelligence becomes dangerous. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Truth over ego. Number 2. Analyzing your own emotions. Someone disrespects you, and suddenly your entire mindset changes. Your thoughts become aggressive. You replay the moment repeatedly in your head. Maybe you even start imagining what you should have said back. That is how fast emotions can take control of a person. Most people never notice this happening because they automatically obey whatever they feel. Anger becomes action. Fear becomes avoidance. Insecurity becomes desperation. They never stop to ask why the emotion appeared in the first place. Highly intelligent people behave differently. Instead of instantly reacting, they observe themselves first. When something affects them emotionally, they become curious about it. They quietly study the reaction instead of surrendering to it. They ask difficult questions most people avoid. Why did that comment bother me? What weakness did this expose? Why am I emotionally reacting so strongly? That habit creates deep self-awareness, because emotions often reveal hidden truths about a person's mind. Sometimes jealousy reveals insecurity. Sometimes anger reveals wounded pride. Sometimes emotional attachment reveals fear of being alone. Most people try to hide these emotions. Intelligent individuals analyze them. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that emotional reactions expose vulnerability. A calm person can observe while emotional people reveal themselves freely. The moment someone loses emotional control, their thinking becomes predictable. An insecure person becomes desperate for approval. An angry person becomes easy to provoke. A fearful person becomes easy to pressure. This is why emotionally reactive individuals are easier to manipulate. Their behavior is controlled externally because their emotions are uncontrolled internally. But people with emotional discipline become harder to influence because they pause before reacting. That pause is powerful. In that small moment, intelligent individuals separate emotion from decision-making. They understand that feelings are temporary, but actions create long-term consequences. So, instead of allowing emotions to lead immediately, they examine them carefully first. That changes the way they handle conflict. When someone insults them, they do not instantly explode. When someone criticizes them, they do not collapse emotionally. When pressure appears, they stay calm enough to think clearly. Meanwhile, emotional people expose themselves immediately. Their face changes, their tone changes, their behavior changes. They reveal weakness without realizing it. Observant individuals notice all of this. That is why self-control creates psychological advantage. The calmer person usually controls the situation because calmness allows clear thinking. Emotional people become trapped inside reaction. They speak too quickly, reveal too much, make impulsive decisions. Later, they regret what emotions pushed them to do. Intelligent individuals avoid this trap because they understand something important. Not every emotion deserves obedience. Just because you feel anger does not mean anger is correct. Emotions provide information, not always accuracy. That is why highly intelligent people spend time understanding their emotional patterns privately. They notice what triggers insecurity. They notice what damages their focus. They notice which situations make them irrational. And once they identify those weaknesses, they work on controlling them instead of denying they exist. Most people never do this. They protect their ego instead of studying their behavior. They blame other people for emotional reactions they never learn to control themselves. But rare intelligent individuals take responsibility for their own mind. That responsibility changes them psychologically. They become more patient, more aware, more difficult to provoke. Because manipulation becomes harder when a person understands their own emotional weaknesses clearly. Machiavelli understood that people ruled by emotion rarely see reality clearly. Pride distorts judgment, fear distorts decisions, desire distorts logic. But calm observation sharpens perception. That is why dangerous intelligence is often emotionally disciplined, not emotionless, disciplined. The person who can stay calm while others become emotional gains a major advantage in life. They can think while others panic. They can observe while others react. They can remain focused while others lose control. And that level of emotional awareness is rare. Most people trust emotions immediately. Intelligent people investigate emotions first. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Calm mind wins. Number 3. Reinterpreting past experiences. Intelligent people rarely experience pain only once. They revisit it, because their mind keeps searching for understanding. Most people try to escape painful memories as quickly as possible. They distract themselves, bury emotions, and pretend the experience no longer matters. But intelligent individuals often return to old conversations, betrayals, humiliations, and failures in silence. They study them carefully. At first, this can look like overthinking. But something deeper is happening psychologically. They are searching for patterns. A highly intelligent person may replay a betrayal from years ago and suddenly notice details they missed before. A fake smile, a hidden motive, a warning sign ignored because emotions clouded judgment at the time. That realization changes the way they see people forever. Because painful experiences often reveal truths that comfort never teaches. Comfort hides weakness. Pain exposes it. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that human beings reveal their true nature under pressure. Loyalty changes when personal gain appears. Kindness changes when power changes. Respect disappears when fear disappears. Most people learn these lessons emotionally. Intelligent people learn them strategically. They ask themselves difficult questions after painful situations. Why did I trust that person? What blinded me? What pattern did I ignore? How did emotions affect my judgment? Those questions create awareness, and awareness turns experience into intelligence. That is why betrayal often changes intelligent people deeply. Not only emotionally, but psychologically. Once someone experiences manipulation, deception, or hidden selfishness, they begin observing human behavior more carefully afterward. They stop blindly trusting words. They start paying attention to actions. They notice inconsistencies faster. They become more aware of hidden intentions. Pain sharpens observation when a person chooses to learn from it. Most people only remember the emotion of painful moments. Intelligent individuals remember the lesson. That difference matters, because life repeats patterns constantly. The same personality types appear in different forms. The same manipulation tactics return through different people. The same emotional mistakes happen again and again to individuals who never reflect deeply on the past. But people who study their experiences begin recognizing danger earlier. They notice controlling behavior sooner. They recognize dishonesty faster. They detect emotional games before becoming trapped inside them. That is where psychological growth becomes dangerous. Not because pain makes someone cruel, but because awareness makes them harder to fool. Machiavelli understood that innocence can become weakness when combined with blind trust. People who never study human behavior often assume others think like they do. Honest people assume honesty. Loyal people expect loyalty. Kind people expect fairness. Reality does not always work that way, and painful experiences usually teach that lesson brutally. Intelligent individuals slowly realize that manipulation often hides behind charm. Self-interest hides behind generosity. Some people only appear trustworthy while circumstances benefit them. That realization changes how observant people move through life. They become slower to trust, more careful with emotions, more aware of motives. Not paranoid, aware. There is a difference. Paranoia assumes everyone is dangerous. Awareness understands that human behavior changes under pressure, temptation, fear, and opportunity. That understanding creates emotional maturity. Instead of becoming bitter after painful experiences, intelligent individuals often become more analytical. They stop asking only, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What does this reveal about people and about myself?" That mindset creates psychological depth, because every painful experience contains information. Failure teaches weaknesses. Humiliation teaches humility. Betrayal teaches observation. Regret teaches responsibility. But only reflective people extract those lessons properly. Most individuals repeat the same mistakes because they only feel pain emotionally. They never examine it intelligently. They blame luck, blame timing, blame other people. Meanwhile, intelligent individuals examine their own role honestly. They study the decisions that led them there. They identify emotional blind spots that created vulnerability. That level of reflection creates powerful self-awareness over time, and eventually something changes inside them. They stop seeing pain as meaningless suffering. They start seeing it as psychological education. Not every lesson in life arrives gently. Some arrive through disappointment, some through deception, some through loss. But intelligent people understand that painful experiences can sharpen judgment if the person is willing to face reality honestly afterward. That is why rare intelligent individuals often become calmer after difficult experiences instead of weaker. They understand people better, they trust more carefully, they observe more deeply, and most importantly, they stop allowing emotions to blind them the same way twice. Most people try to forget painful experiences. Intelligent people study them. Now I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. Pain taught me. Number 4. Curiosity about random or useless topics. The most intelligent people are often fascinated by things that seem completely useless to everyone else. Most people only pay attention to information connected to immediate benefit. If something does not help them make money, gain status, or solve a direct problem, they quickly lose interest. But highly intelligent people often think differently. Their curiosity is not controlled only by usefulness. Sometimes they become deeply interested in old war strategies, psychological experiments, historical betrayals, interrogation tactics, ancient philosophy, body language, power structures, criminal behavior, persuasion, or strange events most people would ignore completely. Not because they are trying to impress anyone, because their mind naturally wants to understand how the world and human beings actually work. That kind of curiosity is powerful. A highly intelligent person may spend hours thinking about a historical leader, not because they admire them, but because they want to understand how power changes human behavior. They may study manipulation tactics, not to manipulate people constantly, but to recognize manipulation when it happens around them. Most people never develop this level of observation because they only consume information that entertains them or confirms what they already believe. Intelligent individuals search for understanding instead of comfort. That changes the way they see reality. Niccolò Machiavelli understood something most people still ignore today. Human nature changes very little across time. Technology changes, clothing changes, but fear, greed, ambition, insecurity, jealousy, pride, and desire continue controlling human behavior generation after generation. That is why intelligent people study many different subjects. Eventually, they begin connecting patterns between them. A person studying history notices repeated power struggles. A person studying philosophy notices how belief shapes action. And once those patterns connect together, people become easier to understand. That is where dangerous intelligence begins developing quietly. Because random knowledge often reveals hidden truths. For example, intelligent individuals learn that crowds are emotionally influenced faster than logically convinced. They learn that confident people are not always competent. They learn that fear changes morality quickly. They learn that power exposes personality. These realizations do not usually come from one experience. They come from years of curiosity. Most people never reach that level because they stop learning once information becomes uncomfortable, complex, or unrelated to immediate survival. But intelligent individuals often enjoy difficult subjects specifically because complexity stimulates their thinking. Their mind naturally searches beneath surface-level explanations. When they hear a story, they ask, "What motive is hidden underneath this?" When they watch people interact, they ask, "Who actually holds emotional control here?" That habit creates strong pattern recognition. And pattern recognition is one of the most dangerous forms of intelligence. Because once someone sees patterns clearly, human behavior becomes more predictable. They notice manipulation earlier. They recognize insecurity faster. They detect dishonesty through small inconsistencies. They understand emotional dynamics most people completely miss. Meanwhile, average individuals continue judging everything only from appearances. Machiavelli understood that appearances often deceive people because emotions cloud perception. Many individuals believe words instead of studying behavior. They trust confidence instead of observing character. They become impressed by image instead of understanding intention. Curious minds rarely make that mistake for long, because curiosity trains observation. The more a person learns about psychology, history, persuasion, leadership, conflict, and human nature, the harder it becomes to view people superficially. They begin noticing what drives behavior underneath the surface. Attention motivates some people. Fear motivates others. Validation controls others completely. And once someone understands these emotional drivers, they begin understanding influence itself. That is why intelligent individuals often enjoy learning privately without needing recognition. Their curiosity is internal. They learn because understanding itself feels rewarding. Most people need external reward before becoming interested in something. Rare intelligent minds simply enjoy expanding awareness. And over time, this creates a huge psychological advantage, because knowledge from different areas begins connecting together like pieces of a larger picture. History explains politics, psychology explains manipulation, philosophy explains behavior, strategy explains power. Suddenly, reality starts making more sense. The intelligent person begins seeing patterns hidden inside everyday situations that most people never notice at all. That is why curiosity should never be underestimated. A deeply curious mind eventually develops sharper perception than people who only focus on surface-level information. Most individuals only look at what is directly in front of them. Intelligent people look beneath it. And the more they understand about human nature, history, emotion, and strategy, the less surprised they become by how people behave. Because a curious mind eventually sees patterns that invisible minds never notice. Number 5. Correcting your thinking in real time. Most people would rather defend a lie than admit they were wrong. That sentence explains human behavior better than most people realize. The average person becomes emotionally attached to their opinions very quickly. Once ego connects itself to an idea, changing direction suddenly feels embarrassing. Instead of adjusting to reality, people start protecting their image. They argue longer, excuse mistakes, ignore evidence, pretend confidence even when they know they are wrong inside. And over time, this habit quietly destroys judgment. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that rigid thinking creates weakness. A person who refuses to adapt becomes predictable. Once someone's reactions become predictable, controlling them becomes easier. That is why highly intelligent people value accuracy more than pride. The moment reality changes, they adjust mentally. Fast. They do not waste energy defending false assumptions simply to protect their ego. If new information exposes weakness in their thinking, they correct themselves immediately and move forward. This sounds simple, but psychologically, it is extremely rare. Because most people experience being wrong as a threat to identity. Instead of seeing correction as improvement, they see it as humiliation. Their ego turns learning into emotional conflict. Intelligent individuals think differently. To them, staying wrong is more dangerous than admitting it. That mindset creates mental flexibility. A highly intelligent person can stop during an argument and realize, my perspective is incomplete. They can observe a situation changing and instantly adapt without emotional collapse. They do not become trapped inside stubbornness simply because pride demands consistency. That ability creates major psychological advantage because life changes constantly. People change, power changes, situations change. Rigid minds struggle in changing environments because they become attached to certainty. They continue using old thinking in new situations, even when reality clearly proves it no longer works. Flexible thinkers survive faster because they adapt faster. Machiavelli respected adaptability because survival often depends on adjustment, not comfort. The person who reacts intelligently to changing conditions usually outperforms the person emotionally clinging to outdated beliefs. This applies to every part of life. Some people stay loyal to harmful relationships because admitting the truth hurts their pride. Some continue making terrible decisions because changing direction feels embarrassing. Some ignore obvious reality because ego refuses to accept failure. Instead of correcting themselves early, they defend mistakes until damage becomes unavoidable. Intelligent individuals avoid this trap because they constantly observe results honestly. If something is not working, they re-evaluate. If new information appears, they reconsider. If reality exposes flaws in their thinking, they adapt immediately. No emotional performance, just adjustment. That level of self-control is rare because ego naturally resists change. The mind wants to feel intelligent, certain, and correct. Admitting error creates temporary discomfort. But intelligent people understand something important. Temporary discomfort prevents long-term destruction. A person who refuses correction eventually becomes trapped by their own pride. And pride is dangerous because it blinds perception. It convinces people they already know enough. It prevents growth. It turns confidence into arrogance. Machiavelli understood that arrogance weakens judgment because arrogant individuals stop observing reality carefully. They become emotionally committed to their own image instead of paying attention to what is actually happening around them. Meanwhile, adaptable minds continue learning. That creates hidden strength. Because flexible thinkers are difficult to predict, they can shift strategy quickly. They can change perspective without emotional breakdown. They can leave old assumptions behind when necessary. Emotionally rigid people cannot do this easily. They need to feel consistent more than accurate. That is why intelligent individuals often appear calmer during unexpected situations. Their identity is not built entirely on being right all the time. Their focus stays on understanding reality clearly, even if reality damages the ego temporarily. And this mindset creates growth much faster. Every correction sharpens judgment. Every adjustment improves awareness. Every abandoned illusion strengthens perception. Instead of feeling ashamed about learning, intelligent individuals treat learning as psychological evolution. Most people stop growing because ego interrupts the process. They only accept information that protects existing beliefs. They reject uncomfortable truths automatically. They become defensive instead of reflective. But rare intelligent people understand that mental strength requires flexibility. A weak mind breaks when reality changes. A strong mind adapts. That is why adaptability is one of the most dangerous forms of intelligence. A flexible person cannot be controlled easily because they are constantly adjusting, learning, and observing. Meanwhile, stubborn people expose predictable patterns repeatedly, and predictable behavior always creates vulnerability. The ability to instantly correct yourself is not weakness. It is discipline. It means truth matters more than ego. Reality matters more than appearance. Growth matters more than pride. Most people spend years protecting flawed thinking because admitting error feels painful. Intelligent people abandon false thinking quickly because staying blind is far more dangerous. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Truth changes me. Number 6. Enjoying solitude and your own mind. Many people are not afraid of being alone. They are afraid of hearing their own thoughts. That is why so many individuals constantly surround themselves with noise, conversation, attention, and stimulation. Silence forces a person to confront themselves honestly, and most people are not prepared for that experience. Because solitude reveals things distraction hides. It reveals emotional dependence. It reveals confusion. It reveals unresolved fear. A person can avoid self-awareness for years by constantly staying mentally occupied. But the moment they are truly alone with their thoughts, reality becomes harder to escape. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that people who depend emotionally on others become easier to influence. The need for approval weakens judgment. The fear of rejection changes behavior. The desire to be accepted makes people betray their own standards. That is why emotionally independent individuals often appear different from the crowd. They are comfortable standing apart mentally. Highly intelligent people usually develop a strong relationship with solitude because solitude strengthens observation. Without constant outside influence, they can think clearly. They can reflect deeply. They can examine situations without emotional pressure from surrounding people. That environment sharpens awareness. A highly intelligent person may spend long periods alone, analyzing behavior, studying decisions, thinking about life patterns, or questioning their own direction. Not because they hate people, but because solitude gives the mind space to organize itself properly. Most people rarely experience that level of internal clarity because they constantly seek external distraction or validation. They need reassurance, need attention, need approval, need emotional confirmation from others. And once someone becomes emotionally dependent on outside validation, manipulation becomes easier. A person desperate for acceptance can be controlled through praise. A person terrified of isolation can be controlled through fear of rejection. A person addicted to approval eventually sacrifices authenticity to maintain it. Machiavelli understood this weakness clearly. People often surrender freedom for emotional comfort. But intelligent individuals slowly realize something powerful. The less validation you need, the harder you become to control. That realization changes behavior. They stop chasing approval from every person around them. They stop explaining themselves constantly. They stop needing everyone to understand their decisions. Instead, they become more grounded internally. This does not mean intelligent people never feel loneliness. They do. But they understand the difference between loneliness and chosen solitude. Loneliness feels empty because a person believes something is missing. Solitude feels peaceful because the person enjoys their own mind. That difference is important. A person who cannot tolerate being alone often becomes emotionally impulsive around others. They tolerate disrespect to avoid abandonment. They ignore red flags to maintain connection. They become vulnerable to manipulation because emotional dependence weakens clear judgment. But people comfortable with solitude behave differently. They can walk away from toxic situations more easily. They can think independently without crowd pressure. They can observe social behavior without desperately needing to participate in it constantly. That creates psychological freedom, and freedom creates strength. Because once someone becomes comfortable alone, fear loses power over them. Fear of rejection weakens. Fear of disapproval weakens. Fear of standing apart weakens. Most people never experience this because their identity depends heavily on external reaction. Compliments affect confidence. Criticism destroys mood. Social approval controls self-worth. Intelligent individuals work differently internally. Their confidence becomes more private, more stable, less dependent on constant outside reinforcement. Machiavelli respected self-control because emotionally dependent people often make irrational decisions under social pressure. They follow crowds blindly. They seek status desperately. They change personality depending on who surrounds them. But emotionally independent individuals remain more consistent because their identity is not controlled entirely by external acceptance. That makes them harder to manipulate socially. They think before following, observe before trusting, reflect before reacting. And solitude strengthens all of those abilities, because solitude gives intelligent people something modern life rarely offers: mental distance. Distance from emotional noise. Distance from constant influence. Inside that silence, observation becomes sharper. They begin understanding themselves more clearly. Their goals become clearer. Their emotional patterns become clearer. Even human behavior becomes easier to recognize when the mind is not overwhelmed by constant outside pressure. That is why many highly intelligent people protect their solitude carefully. Not because they fear people, because they understand the psychological value of being alone with a clear mind. Most people spend their lives trying to escape themselves. Rare intelligent individuals become stronger by understanding themselves deeply. And once a person becomes comfortable alone, they stop becoming emotionally controllable. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I need no approval. Most people will go through life without ever truly understanding themselves. They will react emotionally instead of thinking deeply. They will protect their ego instead of facing reality. They will seek comfort instead of awareness, and because of that, they will remain predictable. Niccolò Machiavelli understood something dangerous about human nature. The person who understands people gains power, but the person who understands both human nature and themselves becomes extremely difficult to control. That is the difference between ordinary intelligence and dangerous intelligence. Dangerous intelligence is not loud. It does not constantly seek attention. It does not waste energy trying to appear superior. It is calm under pressure, observant around people, emotionally disciplined during chaos, and mentally flexible when reality changes. While most people spend their lives blindly reacting to the world, rare intelligent individuals quietly study everything around them. And most importantly, they study themselves. That is why solitude strengthens them instead of weakening them. That is why painful experiences sharpen them instead of destroying them. That is why emotional pressure does not control them easily. Because awareness changes a person psychologically. Once you learn to question your own beliefs, emotions lose power over your thinking. Once you understand human behavior, manipulation becomes easier to recognize. Once you become comfortable alone, validation stops controlling your decisions. And that level of self-awareness is rare. If this video made you think differently, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who quietly studies the world instead of blindly reacting to it. Because the truth is, most people spend their lives escaping themselves. Rare, intelligent people spend their lives understanding themselves. And once a person truly understands both their own mind and human nature, they become very difficult to manipulate, deceive, or destroy. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. Awareness makes me dangerous.